She's like, I'm 14. Fuck it.
Never mind, give me my tape back. Those things are like $5.
Yeah, no, because she came back and she's like, here. I'm like, what's this? She goes, it's a band called Aldo Nova. I'm like, yeah, what about them? She goes, I just ran into the singer. I'm like, where? She goes, the chiropractor's office. She goes, he was hitting on me. I'm like, isn't he like 24? Like, what the hell? It's just gross.
That is, I can't wait until this podcast makes it big and I can just ride around in limos and hit on underage girls.
Oh, just so you know, the guy from Muchmusic was Master T, not Master P.
Oh.
Master P is an actual rapper who's worth a lot of money.
Master T, right?
Yeah.
That's funny. That's like, I wonder if Master P was around back then. He's like, I'm going to be Master P. He's like, you can't do that. You can't be Master T. All right, that's fine.
He still looks the exact same.
I don't know.
Long ass. He's got long, really thin dreads.
Eric M, one of my most important crushes in my whole life.
Yeah.
I still think about her sometimes. She's like Gwyneth Paltrow. She's like the Canadian Gwyneth Paltrow now.
Yeah,
she's got a crazy website like Goop, but it's not Goop. It's like M Juice or something.
Yeah, it's called M Juice.
Now that I work in a place where, by the way, they know about the podcast and they will monitor. So I will not disclose where I work, but I'm looking for that candle every day. I'm looking for that candle. One day.
It'll definitely, yeah.
They catch me whenever I'm not working. I'm in the candle section. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, never mind.
Looking for something. Shut up.
It's for my podcast. I haven't told too many people about it yet. Because they warned me. They're like, we monitor your social media and stuff. I'm like, okay. Should I just hand in my resignation now, or do you want to keep it exciting?
Oh my God.
Not going to be good.
No.
If I'm the guy who works in their store. Although it might by the time I own this company.
Hey, do you remember the fucking show on Muchmusic, the game show Test Pattern?
Was that the one with Steve Anthony?
No, hosted by the
DJ Gallagher.
Yeah, DJ Gallagher. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that was the best. I always wanted to be on that.
I know. I actually on the Game Network, on the Game Show Network, they actually had this little 50-minute little biography thing about it. It was awesome because they're talking about just how horrible the prizes were.
Oh yeah,
because there's like, no, you just won like $5. Right? It's like, yeah.
They do crazy. Like I remember one time they all got a can of Spam and they had to carve it into Michael Jackson's original nose. That was one of the challenges.
That's so good.
The one that looked the most like Michael Jackson's real nose won the prize. Just do the funniest shit on that show. It was good. Like I don't know why that. Well, it's Canada. Nobody watched it, but those guys should have been huge.
Yeah. The
one of Ventures was the best.
The original, like I guess like the guy was like the original producer, whatever the show. He said they're like, X many episodes sort of into the show. It was only on for 2 years. But they said he just pulled in like a little company meeting. He goes, just so everybody knows, you will never have this much freedom on any TV show ever in the rest of your life. So enjoy it while you got it. Because everybody would just come in and be like, hey, got an idea. Okay, just do it. Fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah. Moses' name here was he's a goddamn media genius, but he's like they hired him to fix MTV because Muchmusic was doing better in the States than MTV was, and they couldn't figure it out.
That's right. So mainly because we just played videos and MTV didn't.
Yeah, that and awesome shit. But it was all music related, like awesome shit. Yeah. Plus, their whole MTV Unplugged, fuck you. That was intimate and interactive 20 years before MTV ever got into it.
That's right.
It's intimate and interactive up here, and they would do and the band and the audience was just there. You're like 10 feet from your favorite guy, and you could just ask him questions.
Yeah, I remember that. That was amazing.
And then all of a sudden, MTV did it, but it was like Nirvana, and you couldn't like talk to them, or it wasn't even as cool because they didn't talk to the guests or whatever.
I love that. I'm just reading up on Dan Gallagher, like some of the shit that he did. So he was one of the original VJs for the Pepsi Power Hour.
Oh yeah.
He was also on the, and I remember both of these, or this one. Remember Video Hits?
Yeah, have I been calling him Michael Anthony? Steve Anthony.
Steve Anthony. Yeah,
Steve
Anthony. Yeah. You remember Video Hits? Do you remember that show? I actually have one of their LPs. One of the LPs from Video Hits.
And they would do the buzz clip. That was always the first time I ever heard Pearl Jam was the buzz clip.
Oh, really?
Here's a buzz clip from this new band, and I'm like, oh, cool. I'll watch it. It was Jeremy. I was a little behind because Live had already been out, and I didn't hear Live. Jeremy was the first. It was their second single.
Oh, shit.
And it was the buzz clip, and I was like, and I saw the video for Jeremy, and I literally, like, just as the video was ending, I went to the mall and I bought the fucking tape.
Oh shit, eh?
I was like, that's the best fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, it just hit me like a fucking sledgehammer, and I ran to the mall and bought the tape. And I bought Alice in Chains Dirt the same day.
Hey, Dan Gallagher's dead.
I knew that.
He died in January of 2001 after a sudden illness. The contracted pneumonia during a trip to Barbados.
He was the first COVID in Canada.
That's right.
Not many people know that about him. He started COVID. It was a Canadian thing. We blamed it on China 20 years later.
He was actually in the movie Freak Show.
Really? I don't remember that.
In 1989, Gallagher starred in the obscure, low-budget horror anthology Freak Show.
That's funny.
It's so obscure, low budget that it doesn't even have a Wikipedia page.
That's cool. I used to have an encyclopedia of those movies. It was like you know that they put out that movie guide every year.
Yeah,
I had one that was just strictly like shit like that.
That's awesome.
It was all full of like trauma movies and stuff.
Oh shit, that's fucking wild.
Trauma is making a big comeback. Apparently,
is he really?
Yeah, their movies are big online. And I forget what they're doing. They're doing like a Toxic Avenger reboot or something.
Oh my god!
I don't know how you could top what they've already done. It's hard to beat a Trauma movie.
Toxic Avengers, my god.
Attack of the Tomatoes. How do you beat Attack of the Killer Tomatoes?
Was that him?
That was a Trauma movie.
That was a Trauma movie? Fuck, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. So good. I remember Surf Nazis.
Oh, yeah.
What was the one? Class of Nukem High.
Nukem High, yeah.
Yeah, that was a fan of that one.
There's so many.
Yeah.
So many. Those guys are great. See that you don't get stuff like that anymore. You don't get campy shit like that anymore. Like everyone thinks our generation was so bad. We had the most awesome shit. Everyone thinks their generation was the best. No, fuck. We had Trauma. We had Dan Gallagher. You're not ever going to see a guy like that on television again, Canadian or otherwise. We had it. Like boy bands, fucking the boy bands of today, they don't know boy bands. We had all of them, all at once. They all worked for the same producer.
Well, hey, how about this? Did you know that Trauma released over 100 of its back catalog films on YouTube, most of them all for free? And then in 2020, so just this year, their YouTube channel got terminated for not meeting community standards.
That's what, I read that about them, and then that sparked up a bunch of interest in them.
Yeah, that's funny. People are like, who?
Yeah, I read that. That's and that like it helped them a lot. Like they don't care about community. When did they ever meet? Their whole thing is to not meet community standards.
I read his book about how to make a trauma movie in the sense, like how to do it for next to nothing. And oh my god, that book was so funny. Like they talk about like the one guy got like in order to get the because they put in the contract that they would get paid. They would also get like a meal as part of the thing. They won't get paid money, but they will get free lodging and a meal. So they had to sleep in like somebody's house.
Yeah.
They're all crashed out in this house, and like the only money they have is the guy went out and he bought like one giant thing, like one thing of soup, which is supposed to be enough for like 2 people, but they had to make it be enough for like 20. So everybody gets like a couple of spoons.
That was the 90s, man. I had Sloan stay at my house.
That's so good.
We brought Sloan to Kelowna. Like we used to bring bands to Kelowna, like just so we could open for them. That was our like just, but we couldn't get like anybody big. We got like Sloan and there's a couple like Chicks Dig It and a couple like big Canadian bands, but nothing like huge. But yeah, we said we give them a stay, and then they crashed at my place, and then they went to their friends and like slept in, like swam in. We're like, yeah, we'll put you up for the night.
Yeah, we can do that.
You can do that now. You can't. You can do anything we did. Like I know we talked about like the sitcoms you couldn't do anymore. Like nothing that was on TV would fly today. You couldn't.
No. Well, there was actually just a thing where they showed a bunch of millennials Seinfeld, and they're all offended by it. Saying, "You can't show us this. This is offensive. You can't show this." Oh, fucking hypersensitive fucking.
We were like everything now would be offensive. Everything. Pepsi, Bard says bite, Johnny. That would be offensive now for some reason.
Yeah. Like, I just don't get it. From a generation that was raised on Ren and Stimpy, fucking South Park, Simpsons, Family Guy. Like, these are the shows that, raise this next generation for the most part. How the fuck are they so sensitive about shit? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know, because look at who their parents are. What the fuck? Like, I get that we're all supposed to be woke and shit, but you could be woke and funny, too. Like, there's shit that's just...
You can be woke and still take a fucking joke.
No, you can't. That's the thing. It's all woke, no joke. That's the rule. You can't take a joke. You can't make a joke, let alone take a joke.
Yeah, apparently.
Nothing. You couldn't get away with anything. Weird Al wouldn't fly today. If Weird Al was new, nobody would like that.
No.
That would be
that. That's that's cultural appropriation. You can't do that.
Yeah, probably. Even though there's really only one popular song now that it's just fucking the same. They just all regurgitate it and put it out in their own packaging.
Yep.
But yeah, no, nothing we did, and I don't mean to sound like one of those old yahoos that says like our generation was the best, because no, every generation had fucked up shit, but ours was definitely like we conquered a lot of fucked up shit and came up with like the most innovative, greatest stuff too. Like we did. People say like Desert Storm was our Vietnam. No, it wasn't.
No, not at all.
We went and freed a little country that was being invaded by someone. Like Desert Storm, they're the first. The 88 Iraq War, 89, whatever.
Yeah,
the one that was justified, and everyone got in and did it. It was long before Bushy. We did it right. We went and freed a little country.
That's right.
I know it was bullshit. Like it was, whatever. Why were we in the Middle East? It was all oil, obviously.
That's what they wanted.
But like we didn't have screwy things like civil rights in the 90s wasn't a thing. There was no black cops or white cops shooting black people. Like we had Rodney King. That was like the reason why Rodney King was so big was that never fucking happened.
Yeah. Or at least was never talked about. Like nobody knew about it. Like you had incidences like this is the reason why NWA happened, and shit like that because of that. But it wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't as widespread, I guess. It only happened in L.A.
Didn't have the divide either. Like you could party with black guys. Look at Fishbone. They were just